Hi, I'm Liz White. I'm the Executive Director of Upvote Virginia. We've got a lot of exciting things happening for RCV Day Week. In Virginia, we've got a unified lobby day. We call it Democracy Day. We're fortunate enough to be part of a coalition of organizations working on good governance and issues like ranked choice voting, campaign finance reform, national popular vote, ethics reform, lots of good groups working on important issues that come together to make Virginia's democracy stronger. That lobby day is January 20th. And then the reason I can't be with you all together live tonight on the 22nd on Ranked Choice Voting Day Eve is we're hosting our first annual Ranked Choice Voting Day fundraising event. We've got coalition partners and supporters and legislators and partner orgs coming together to celebrate the progress happening in Virginia and around the country and really dig deep on the work we're doing on ranked choice voting in Virginia. So I wish I could be with everybody live. I really appreciate what everyone's doing around the country, and I'm really excited for the prospects for ranked choice voting that are ahead of us this year.
Hi, this is Elise Orlick, Executive Director of Fair Vote Washington. This RCV Day, I'm headed to Olympia with over 200 grassroots advocates for Democracy Lobby Day. Along with other priorities, we will be speaking with legislators about HB 2210, the Protect Our Voices Act. This bill provides local jurisdictions with the option to use single or multi-winner ranked choice voting and ensures that they implement it well. The bill is a response to federal attacks on representation, as seen in the Louisiana v. Calais case before the Supreme Court. We're really excited about HB 2210. 20 partner organizations have endorsed the bill, and it received a hearing in the House Policy Committee on the second day of session, where local community groups and national experts testified to the need for these tools. Now, HB 2210 is scheduled for a vote in committee on Ranked Choice Voting Day. On top of that, Fair Vote Washington is supporting volunteer chapters across the state, including in Seattle, where we are preparing to implement ranked choice voting next year. These members are helping us build a movement to protect, strengthen, and expand Washington's democracy.
Hi, I'm Travis with Better Ballot North Carolina. We hope you all are off to a really good start in 2026 and you're living your best life. We have a lot going on over here in North Carolina. Please check out our website, betterballotinc.org. And we hope that you join us on Ranked Choice Voting Day to celebrate more choices and more voices. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Ranked Choice Voting Day. My name is Eileen Reevy, and I'm the Executive Director of Rank the Vote. If you're not familiar, we are here to support grassroots movements for pro-voter electoral reforms across the country. We have over 30 partners that we work with that are working on campaigns, really looking at what's the right answer to help make their communities better, focusing on root causes of issues, building grassroots power, focusing in equity and in representation, working in coalition and collaboration with partners, and really driving towards actions and things that are results oriented. We had a really incredible 2025 thanks to all of our wonderful state partners that we work with. Really notably, we had 52,000 new supporters in 2025. We had 13,800 people sign up to volunteer last year. For context, that is more volunteers than we had in 2021, 2023, and 2024 combined. So it was a really amazing year for us. Right now, as we're heading into 2026, we've got over 100 active efforts across 23 states. Our partners held over 150 trainings last year. At the national level, we held 110. And we are just really excited about the work ahead as our folks are going out in their communities, talking to their neighbors, talking to legislators, showing up at town halls, going to farmers markets to canvass, and let people know that there is a way that we can have better elections and better governance and more responsive governments. One of the big programs that you'll see us rolling out this year, if you are saying, I want to learn more, I want my neighbors to know more, is you have the opportunity to host a screening of The Choice in your neighborhood. This is a short 30-minute documentary that follows what happened actually in my home city of Portland, Oregon, when we moved to a proportional representation system with districts and really transformed city government. And are like hoping that this can inspire people to realize that everyday folks can be the change they want to see in their communities and take action. And Rank the Vote is here to support you and your people on the ground to do that. So I've got a great program today with almost all of our state partners featured that we're really excited for them to be able to update you themselves about what's going on. So you're going to hear from all of those folks and see some of what's happening across the country. But first, we're going to start off with a bit of a national overview with Candace Nolde, who's the advocacy manager at FairVote, is going to give a little bit of a table setting around the national landscape. So thanks so much for joining us, Candace. We'll give her just a moment here for her to join. Hi, Candace.
Great. Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Eileen and Rank the Vote for putting this together. My name is Candace Nolda, and I work at FairVote in our advocacy department. And it is great to see so many familiar faces and names on this call, but also welcome to those of you who might be here for the first time and are interested in really activating at this moment in our country's history and our world's history when it requires all of us to lean into that civic engagement. So thank you so much for putting on this event and for being here. I wanted to share a little bit about FairVote and who we are and how we are showing up in this national space to support election reform across the country. At FairVote, our vision leans on representative and accountable government, so looking where voters have more voice and more choice in the system, and also that elected leaders are prioritizing the interests. And this, again, from all levels of government at the federal, state, and local level. I wanted to speak a little bit about how FairVote is approaching these next few years in terms of our strategy. And again, what this could mean for how you're thinking about work in your local communities. So we've prioritized 3 pillars of work, which we call the build, win, and sustain categories. So build might be if you're in a community right now where you are really interested in introducing election reform or seeing some reforms in your community, we'd love to talk with you about what building and kind of scaling up and developing that work could look like. Those of you who maybe have done the build work already are now in the win phase. So you're looking at active measures where there might be a ballot initiative campaign or where you're working with your city council to get them to adopt an ordinance, for example, that would allow for the use of ranked choice voting. And then we also have our sustain bucket. So looking at cities, most notably, we all just saw the magnificent outcome of ranked choice voting in the New York City primary and just the collaborative campaigning that could happen there. We're looking at how we can sustain those wins and make sure that ranked choice voting is here to stay in communities where it's currently being used. So that's a little bit about the 3 pillars that are guiding our work in terms of the build, win, and sustain phases. Just a few more notes about FairVote and again, how this could plug into your work. We are here as a resource. So we have several buckets of what we call our core competencies. We have a research team who is constantly looking at the use cases of ranked choice voting and what that means for our democracy as a whole, both at the broader scale and then at the individual level, and how voters feel more plugged in. We have a communications team, again, happy to help with efforts in your area in terms of just getting the message out and keeping that momentum going. Policy and legal team, who is, again, working on things like what does ballot initiative language look like if we want to get that on the ballot for voters. Advocacy team, where I am housed, we're looking at legislation across states, both proactive and defensive in terms of ban bills, for example, and making sure that those don't gain too much traction. We also have a Democratic and Republican engagement team. I'd say our hottest project there is looking at the use of ranked choice voting for the 2028 presidential primaries. So stay tuned for more on that. And then last but not least, our strategy and learning team that helps capture the lessons learned out in communities around the United States and make sure that we learn from them and can improve. So that is a little bit about Fair Vote and what we have to offer. And again, just so thrilled to be here and really excited by the work going on. I will drop my email in the chat. If you would like to talk about an effort in your community, would love to set up a conversation. And here's to 2026. So back to you, Eileen.
Thanks so much, Candace. Always wonderful to hear from you and really thrilled to have Fair Vote as such a strong, close partner of ours. So thank you for all the great work that Fair Vote does and has been doing for the last 30 years in this space. Next up, we are going to hear from Lisa Rice, the CEO of Grow Democracy DC. Lisa, so thrilled to have you and excited to hear about what you've got going on. All right, let's get Lisa unmuted, please. Sorry about that, folks.
Yay! I've been unmuted. You may regret that, but hi, everyone. This is Lisa Rice from Washington, D.C. Thank you, Eileen, and everyone. I hope you're having a good RCV 123 Eve. And I'm not sure how we celebrate an Eve, but I'll tell you what we're doing here in DC. We actually do have a lot of things going on tomorrow. We are very lucky as we prepare for our first ranked choice voting contest. On June 16th, we will have the Democratic primary. Lots of races there. And in DC, as with a lot of places where there's a supermajority party, the primary is the Democratic primary here is the only race that matters, except for a couple of contests. And before I talk more about that, I want to give you background on Initiative 83, which is what won both ranked choice voting and letting independents vote, or semi-open primaries here in DC. The reason that we're only implementing ranked choice voting this year is because the council only funded that portion of the initiative. But they're going to really regret that on June 16th, because at the same time, there is a concurrent special election in which everyone, no matter what party, will be able to vote. Because it's for a slot that is for an independent on our council. So I imagine there will be fireworks in DC on June 16th. And so it's going to be a really, really exciting day. But tomorrow we will be at the Board of Elections. It happens to be the day that those who are running in that June 16th primary will pick up their petitions. It's the first day they'll be able to pick up their petitions from the Board of Elections. So my great partner, Brian Strage, and I will be out on the sidewalk. They won't let us in the building, but we'll be on the sidewalk with a heater and a table. And if anyone's in DC, please come by with hot cocoa. We'll be there from 8:30 in the morning until 5, unless this wicked, wicked storm drives us off the sidewalk. But we'll be there to greet candidates and their teams, and we'll introduce them to candidate training. We'll have our first candidate training next week. So we have a lot going on. And of course, I'm always in fundraising mode. And, you know, where DC goes, hopefully the rest of the country will follow. And in order to make that happen, I'm raising money. So if anyone out there has a checkbook, please contact me and I will help you spend your money wisely on voter education. So thank you so much, and have a great night.
Thanks so much, Lisa. Sending you very warm thoughts for the week ahead, and best of luck tomorrow. Great. Next up, we are going to hear a video featuring 6 of our dynamic state partners: New Hampshire, Texas, Maryland, Massachusetts, Delaware, and New Mexico. So excited to hear the quick updates from our leaders on the ground there.
More than 50% of voters in New Hampshire support ranked choice voting, but the makeup of the legislature is such that in 2025, we only got 45% support for our RCV bills. So we're going to be spending 2026 working hard so that in 2027, we can pass RCV to be used in the 2028 presidential primary, and as a bonus, we'd love to also use it in the 2028 general elections. We will also be increasing understanding of ranked choice voting by helping people through presentations at key organizations and by kickstarting a mock election campaign throughout the state, by emphasizing that it is a win-win for all of the various stakeholders and that it is a nonpartisan reform that truly helps the will of the voters be heard. We will bring about the urgency of ranked choice voting by emphasizing how important it is that we decrease polarization and help get rid of the us versus them mentality. Excited for 2026, and we look forward to a successful year at New Hampshire ranked choice voting.
Hey y'all, David Como here from Instant Runoff Voting for Texas, coming to you from the Gulf Coast. In Texas, we're trying to use ranked choice voting to eliminate the need for costly, low turnout runoff elections. Right now, we're having a runoff in special elections for a congressional seat and a state Senate seat. And in March, we're going to have primaries, and we expect many of those to also result in runoff elections. We're going to be canvassing at both to try to increase the support in the state of Texas for the use of instant runoff voting. But today, we wanted to celebrate with everybody the work everybody's doing around the country to advance the use of ranked choice voting to improve the voting experience for citizens across the country. Thanks very much and enjoy the day.
Hi, I'm Michelle Whitaker, Executive Director for Ranked Choice Voting Maryland. Last year, RCV Maryland did 10 events across the state. This year, we're taking things up to 11. We have 11 events in 10 cities across 5 counties over 3 days. It's a really exciting time for us in Maryland. Last year, Greenbelt, Maryland passed ranked choice voting on the ballot by 67%. This year, we have multiple cities that are looking at ranked choice voting, including Annapolis, Hyattsville, College Park, Rockville, Frederick, and Salisbury. Along with local jurisdictions, we have action happening at the state level with bills to enable ranked choice voting for Montgomery County and to support election supporting technology that would help cities and counties run ranked choice voting in the future. We hope you'll get involved in whatever way you can so that all Marylanders can have a stronger voice and better elections with ranked choice voting. Happy RCV Day.
Hi, I'm Ed Shoemaker, Executive Director of Voter Choice Massachusetts. And today, advocates from across Massachusetts were at the State House pushing to advance ranked choice voting so cities and towns can decide for themselves how their local elections should work. In 2025, we supported campaigns in Boston, Newton, Salem, Brockton, Bedford, and beyond, bringing together bipartisan coalitions of labor, civil rights leaders, youth organizers, and everyday voters who just want elections that are fair and representative. This isn't new in Massachusetts. We've used ranked choice voting decades ago. What we're doing now is renewing that tradition for today. Our focus is scaling these local wins into lasting statewide change, passing home rule petitions, expanding voter education, and modernizing our election laws. I'm proud to stand with Rank the Vote and be a part of a national movement proving a better way to vote is already here. Happy National Ranked Choice Voting Day. Peace and love.
Greetings from Wilmington, Delaware. My name is Dale Thomas. I'm the Secretary for Rank the Vote Delaware. And as you can see here, go Blue Rocks. I'm here to tell you about what's been going on with the work that we've been doing here in Delaware. Mainly, Rank the Vote Delaware is working to get the word out and support from Wilmington City Council and Newark City Council in the hopes that they can and will support ranked choice voting and adopt ranked choice voting. Wilmington and Newark are two of our biggest cities, and as they go, generally the rest of the state goes. We've also been reaching out to other elected officials, mainly in our General Assembly, and to average voters to educate them on why ranked choice voting is the way to go to give everybody a fair shot on Election Day.
Hey, I'm Perry Radford from New Mexico and NM Voters First. Ranked choice voting continues to be used here in New Mexico in our large cities of Santa Fe and Las Cruces. And recent polling is showing not only is it very popular in those cities, but voters all think it's pretty easy for them to use as well. Meanwhile, support and calls to advocate for ranked choice voting use here in Albuquerque, our largest city, continue to grow. A burgeoning coalition is organizing more voters to advocate for RCV after yet another high-cost runoff last fall. Our coalition is going to be using this momentum to make the biggest push for RCV here that's happened in years. We're looking forward to how far we can take it this year. Thanks.
Awesome updates from everyone. I'm just going to make sure I'm sharing my correct screen here. Okay. We've got so many great state partners. I want to make sure that you know what's happening in your state. So we are just going to have it listed here of what's going on, of upcoming events and ways that you can potentially get involved. So here in Fair Vote, Washington, Lobby Day tomorrow, like Elise mentioned. If you'll be there, I'll see you there. And then they've also got their monthly Ranked Choice Voting Breakfast Club coming up. Better Ballot North Carolina got volunteer orientation, an important strategic planning session for their annual meeting next week, and then a regional meeting coming up in the Triangle and Triad Hub area. New Mexico Voters First, they're focusing on building grassroots power across the state so that they are well prepared to launch in new cities and work potentially at the state legislative level as well. Oregon Center for Voting and Elections, they have a Ranked Choice Voting Day presentation down in Ashland tomorrow, and there's a lot of potential activity happening in Oregon, especially in Southern Oregon. So if you want to get involved, get connected and sign up. In Colorado, Courageous Colorado has performed a really phenomenal listening tour that they went all around the state to talk to folks and hear about what would really resonate with them and what's important in their community. It's a really great place to start any organizing effort. And as they are looking in the future, we think that there are 7 cities we might potentially be collaborating with them on getting ranked choice voting there because there's so much interest in the state. Ranked Choice Voting Virginia and Upvote Virginia. They, as you heard from Liz at the top of our meeting, have an event happening right now in Richmond, in their state capital, as they are kicking off their legislative session and hoping to get a bill passed this year. Best of luck, Virginia, to all the good electoral reforms you're working on. In New Hampshire RCV is focused on building grassroots power. They definitely could use more support, more organizers. So if you are in New Hampshire, please reach out to them to get connected to their great efforts that they're doing there. Better Ballot Georgia, got an upcoming state meeting you can attend, and as well as tabling at the Athens Farmers Market in a few weeks. Must be nice to be in a state where you can be tabling outdoors in this time of year. So definitely connect to the great work there in Georgia. Rank the Vote Delaware, as you heard, is working on building grassroots power. So definitely a great place if you're interested in volunteering to reach out and get connected to others in your state. And of course, as we heard from Lisa, the Grow Democracy DC Civic Education Fund will be having their booth tomorrow at the Board of Elections. And then their next event is in just 5 days with the Train the Trainer and candidate training. They're going to have a busy schedule this year. So if you are in that area, please reach out to them and get involved to help. Instant runoff voting Texas, working on building power. There's going to be things happening locally, keeping an eye on what's happening at the state legislature. They could definitely use more boots on the ground. So get connected with them if you are in Texas. Fair Vote Minnesota, always thinking of our friends there and keeping them in our thoughts. They, as they have been for many, many years, are advancing and defending the use of ranked choice voting locally. And so if you're in Minnesota and you're on this call, you probably already know Jean Massey, but if not, reach out to Fair Vote Minnesota and get connected with their great work there. Better Ballot Nebraska, still focused on building grassroots power. Definitely would love to have some more volunteers and people that are interested in the movement. If you know folks there, encourage them to reach out to their state group and get connected. Voter Choice Massachusetts. I think, as we heard from Ed, they're having their event today. I think they might be listening to this event live. So hi, Massachusetts folks. I hope your events have been going well and excited about all the good work that they have coming up ahead as well. Maryland, we heard from Michelle about the 11 events that they're doing just over the next week, which is really phenomenal, and excited about. There's many, many ways to get plugged in, whether you are in Salisbury, Greenbelt, Frederick, Hyattsville, truly representation across the state. So a lot of opportunities to help out with the campaigns happening there. And that is our first recap of our first half of our states. And now I'm gonna stop screen sharing this. And we are going to hear from a few of our folks here live, which would be Michelle Jackson, the regional organizer for Northeast Ohio, as well as Kaz Fernandez, executive director of Voter Choice Arizona, and Mark Cable from Voter Choice Arizona. So we're going to bring them all up to be spotlighted now. And I believe we'll give them a minute as they pop up here. Great. So nice to see you, and thank you for joining us today. Michelle, hi, I'm going to start with you. I know you've got so much going on in Ohio, and I'm really excited about what's coming ahead in the months ahead. So please tell everyone what you've got going on in Ohio.
Hi, everybody. This is so exciting to hear what's going on across the nation. And I'm jotting down notes to myself of who am I going to text tomorrow or email tomorrow. Really good stuff. So pat ourselves on the back. Even if it wasn't dry January, I would be like toasting with champagne right now, but I'm determined to get through the month with no champagne. So in any case, in Ohio, we are doing some really cool things. We have organizers. We initially started out to do a statewide ballot initiative. And in the midst of that, of course, the state legislature this would be the third time, is trying to institute a ban bill. During that time, two of our municipalities, through their charter review commissions, actually recommended ranked choice voting. So now we have two cities poised to have it on the ballot in November, that came through the legislative process. So in a way, we had an easy path compared to what others are doing when you have to do a ballot initiative. But it's still, it's still pins and needles along the way because you never really know. So we have Cleveland Heights, which is a pretty progressive suburb of Cleveland, of Greater Cleveland, and Lakewood, which is also a progressive community. And our task is really to make sure it gets to the ballot. I'll be presenting, I've been invited, I'm on the agenda for City Council in Cleveland Heights on February 2nd for the meeting. And I'll be, proposing to them, here's a timeline that we need to stick to based on when the language is due for the ballot, based on when you're taking a break for the summer. There's all these kind of little variables in there. So we have been really, I don't know what our database is now, but I know we probably have over maybe 20 to 30,000 supporters on file. And I'm in Northeast Ohio, so we have regional organizers throughout the state. Right now, there's really three of us. Two of them are doing events tonight for Rank the Vote Day, RCV Day. Eve, there's an event in Dayton tonight, and there's an event in Cincinnati. So both of them will have components of ranking beer and also asking for money, fundraising. We'll be looking for fundraising. We're now building our coalition. So Celia, of course, we have Anna with us from Rank the Vote is part of our coalition calls. We have Fair Vote. We have Diane Silver, who's part of this, who's really been enormously helpful, as well as the legal team in helping with the language to give to these city councils. We also have Represent Women as part of our coalition, and we have Black Voters Matter. And now now that we have firmly set that we are on the legislative agenda. We thought it would be last year, 2025, it never happened. And so I was not going to go back to folks until I had that this was voted on out of committee. So we'll be attempting to work with the League of Women Voter, local League of Women Voters. We have a group that's really cool called Greater Cleveland Congregations, which is interfaith, all these different clergy, Jewish, Christian, Muslim. It's a coalition of all of these different faith-based as well as non-faith-based organizations. And their whole mission is centered around social justice and access to the ballot and voting. So it would be a great fit. I'm actually going to meet with someone from there next week. So yeah, so we're pretty jazzed. If we do two with one shot, it's going to be amazing. And our strategy is, because Ohio does have this ban bill that is now, it was originated in the Senate. It is past the Senate. It's now in the House. It has not left committee. It was in the House at the end of their session. They still have one more year to get it through. They have 2-year sessions here. So it's not over that piece, but one of the loopholes in the ban bill is it doesn't appear to apply to charter cities that have a charter. So our strategy is to knock out these first two, move to the next charter city and make it happen. And we're not going to stop. We're going to do like Michigan, which is like totally, we don't care what you say. We're going to still go for a statewide ballot constitution change. So in any case, that's where we're at today. Oh, and tomorrow for the actual RCV day, one of my turfs, Cleveland Heights, a local podcaster who just covers municipal issues, we recorded a podcast that will drop tomorrow for RCV Day. So if anybody's interested in picking it up, you can get it like on iTunes, Spotify, or on the website. And it's called Due Diligence, Due as in DEW. Adam Dew is the host. Due Diligence Inc. .com, or you can pick it up on, iTunes or Spotify. Thanks.
That's great, Michelle. So good to hear about all of your great work and look forward to listening to that podcast. Thank you. Kaz, over in Arizona, can you tell us what you have planned for the year?
There we go. Thank you, Eileen. Absolutely. So I'm Kaz Fernandez, Executive Director for Voter Choice Arizona, and glad we're finally getting into the new year. It seems like RCV Day sneaks up on me every single year, but I'm glad to see so many organizations represented and so much activity happening all around it. I guess I'll start off by talking a little bit about our last year. So in the last cycle, we defeated 4 statewide ballot measures that could have prevented our path to enacting ranked choice voting. And despite that, it felt like we were slowing down a little bit. And over the last year, we reinvigorated our volunteer teams, thanks in large part to Mark, also on the call. We recruited over 4,000 supporters, had 40 events, tons of presentations, and we've been growing our volunteers into volunteer leaders so that we can pass on some of that work. We've also been reaching new demographics with partnerships with BlackNet AZ and Black Phoenix Organizing Collective. And in the coming weeks, this week we've been celebrating our volunteers. Sorry, I'm all over the place. This week we've been celebrating our volunteers and the awesome work that they've enabled us to do over the last year. In Phoenix, and we'll be doing that in Tucson soon enough. And then in the coming weeks, we've got a Doggy Street fair where we are going to be passing out dog bandanas that say "I WAG" for RCV, because what's cuter? We cannot be defeated if we're handing out orange RCV bandanas for a dog parade. We'll also be to continue the cuteness factor. We have Black History Month coming up, and African American Legislative Week will be coming up, and we are going to have kids debating on the Senate floor on a measure, and they will be using ranked choice voting to decide on the winner on through their debates. So that's coming up in just a couple more weeks, and then we have plenty of more street fairs, advocacy fairs at the universities. Thank you, David. Street fairs and advocacy fairs coming up to keep us busy. So we are continuing to educate the public about ranked choice voting. We anticipate, so we've been working on some local adoption efforts in Flagstaff and in Tucson, trying to bring ranked choice voting to municipal elections. We anticipate that as we gain success, ban bills will come again. Our legislative session just started, and so far in my time, we've defeated 8 of those measures, either through the legislature or on the ballot with voters. So not that we want another ban measure, but it's going to happen, and we're ready to defeat it. And we know we will be bigger and stronger after we do. We could always use a little fuel in the tanks. If you want to go to bcaz.org/donate, we would welcome that, of course. And I am going to pass it over to our 2025 Volunteer of the Year, Mark Cable, to talk a little bit more about some of the growth we've had over this last year and the volunteer efforts that got us there.
Awesome. Thanks, Kath. I'm going to share a slide in just a second really quickly, because just to it will very quickly, very visually showcase just how powerful our volunteer movement has been. We really rock the orange here in Arizona, and you can't miss us in places. So if I share this really, really quickly, just a quick visual of our efforts being out and among the public. And the fact is, nobody misses us at events. Everybody finds us. And we've had huge events with the No Kings rallies. There was a Bernie Sanders rally. I remember Kaz and I were out there with 6 clipboards in each hand and the pen running constantly. It was amazing. But we have so many volunteers who step forth in so many different ways. We've expanded our outreach team is now like 400 members. We have a speaker team. I want to say we have 24 active speakers, and we recruited and trained 13 more in the last year. So they're outgoing stuff. We have a writers team now who is working on letters to the editors and working on, as well as documentation and some other things to help us on our path forward in some of our municipal adoption. We have a volunteer onboarding team. We have a phone banking team. We need and live on volunteers. So if you're from Arizona and you're out there in the audience and you're looking to get involved, all I got to ask you is, are you ready to rock the orange? Because, you could be one of this. And if this looks like fun to you, it is. So thank you. And I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you both. So great to hear about your work. And thanks for joining us and for all that you do. Next up, we're going to queue up a video featuring some of our volunteer leaders and team members in Rhode Island, Michigan, South Carolina, Maine, New York, and Illinois.
Here in the Great Ocean State in 2025, we continued our upward trajectory of improving Rhode Island's elections. Our small but mighty team of active volunteers grew by 25%. We doubled our collected signatures and support for RCV in a single year.
We were a presence in the State House, organizing testimony in support of 2 RCV bills. We hosted constituent coffees, convincing more legislators to co-sponsor RCV legislation.
We entered 2026 with a new strategic plan, updated marketing, the legislative goal of enacting RCV for the 2028 presidential primaries, and plans to work with the Providence City Council to pass a resolution endorsing RCV use in local elections.
Hi everyone, Pat Zabala here in Michigan with Rank My Vote, and we had a statewide campaign last year that exploded our presence around the state, from over 400 volunteer signups to over 7,500 volunteer signups. Our grassroots donors grew from 163 to over 1,700, and we held 340 town halls and speaker events around the state. I'm so thrilled about our statewide growth and ultimately create more wins for ranked choice voting. Win locally on local ballots, win at hearings, win at conventions, and win the cause for better representation here in Michigan. We're excited about everything we have going on this year and are grateful for your support.
Hi, my name is Nicole Sanchez, and I'm the president of Better Ballot South Carolina. 2025 was a great year full of energy and progress. We educated thousands of people about the amazing benefits of instant runoff voting, also known as ranked choice voting. From small groups and documentary showings to huge crowds at rallies, we rallied more people to our own organizing events than any previous year. We mobilized people through calls, through texts, through word of mouth, and social media. Boy, did we up our social media game this year with thousands and thousands of views. Thanks for following. And people responded with excitement and hope because we have a solution. We gathered support for that solution. In 2025, we hand-delivered 114 personalized messages to our elected officials last session, and almost 600 more ready to be delivered on our upcoming lobbying day this year. It's almost 5 times the support. We're ready to talk to our legislators about real solutions. That's what instant runoff ranked choice voting is. A solution to help fix our democracy. Thank you to our volunteers, our donors, and to all of our supporters.
All right, exciting work there. And here comes our second video. Thank you.
Maine leads the nation when it comes to ranked choice voting reform, and our top mission this year is to expand ranked choice voting to state legislative and gubernatorial elections. And you may be asking, well, why doesn't Maine use ranked choice voting for those races already? 10 years ago, Maine voters approved a ballot measure where ranked choice voting was intended to apply to all state and federal elections. At that time, the Maine Supreme Court concluded that the measure was in conflict with the Maine state constitution. But since then, the Alaska Supreme Court ruled in a very similar case that it is constitutional and that Maine got it wrong. The time is ripe to give voters what they asked for 10 years ago. We can have a solid ranked choice voting bill that we know can pass constitutional muster, and then we can ensure that we use ranked choice voting for all state and federal elections with 3 or more candidates.
Hey, it's David reporting from snowy New York, where we had a busy 2025 all across the state, more than doubling our list to over 15,000. Unite New York reached over 1,000 volunteer signups, raised over 10,000 grassroots dollars, picketed the polls to demand an end to closed primaries, and had volunteers take almost 600 actions. In 2025, we're working with local groups in Albany and Buffalo to get inclusive ranked choice elections on the ballot, and we'll be having our very first lobby day of the year on February 25th to let our legislators know that New Yorkers want a democracy that works for all of us.
Hi everyone, Happy New Year. I'm headed home on the Amtrak from seeing family for the holidays. 2025 was a year of steady progress for ranked choice voting here in Illinois. 2024, we passed 2 local referenda in Peoria and Oak Park, Illinois. In April 2025, we passed yet another referendum in Skokie, Illinois. We have a bill in the Chicago City Council right now to put ranked choice voting on the ballot as soon as February 2027. We are also collecting signatures in Naperville, Illinois to put ranked choice voting on the ballot there as soon as November 2026. When we have a voting system that is that only gives voters 2 realistic choices, when the powers that be start to fight you, know that you're doing something right. Have a very happy new year.
Awesome. Thanks so much, everyone, for sending all of these great videos in. It's so wonderful to hear from across the country what people are up to. And next up, we are going to hear from Julie Lucky, the Executive Director of Alaskans for Better Elections. Alaska, a state that has been at the forefront and top of mind for RCV efforts for many years now. So Julie, can you give us the latest of what you're working on?
Sure. So, as many of you know, Alaskan voters adopted election reforms, including ranked choice voting in 2020. And then we beat off a repeal just barely in 2024. And we're just already seeing great things happen. So, I just want to be the proof in the pudding. Both of our houses of the legislature led by coalitions, where we see members of both parties sharing the power with independent legislators. And they're all working together to pass things that benefit our communities. In fact, unlike some of the people that I've heard, and I'm so sorry for you guys that are going through this, a lot of our legislators, after seeing how it works, how the process works, and who gets elected, and how their incentives change, are actually asking me how they can help keep it together so that they can keep this collaborative working environment at the Capitol. So we've seen our system work as intended. It allows voters the freedom to vote with their hearts for their favorite candidate instead of having to hold their nose to vote for the sure thing. It's opened doors to more newcomers because they're not pressured into dropping out so the person that has better name recognition can win. We've seen more racial, age, political diversity in our candidates and our elected officials. And this is great.
Okay, it seems like we've unfortunately, Julie is frozen. A really tremendous update we were hearing from her. Okay, it looks like your video's back.
Okay, what's the last thing you heard?
And this is really exciting. And then you cut off, and I was like sitting on the edge of my seat.
Oh no. What is the really exciting thing? What was the thing you heard before that? That is not written in my notes.
You were talking about how the legislators working together collaboratively and coming to you to say, how do we keep
Yeah.
this together?
And yeah, so yeah, so we have our legislators saying, hey, we like what it's actually done for our incentives, and we want to be able to represent our communities, and we'd like to help you. So we've seen, well, I don't know if I've already said this, but we've seen more racial, age, and political diversity in our candidates and those people who get elected. And we've seen competitive races in these districts that used to be decided at the lower turnout primary. So I've heard voters say that they've had their first real choice in decades, which is great to see, right? It's great to get that from the voters. For the first time in Alaska's history, the state house is majority women from all across the political spectrum. So, as I was saying, when I heard that you guys that I was frozen, the problem is it's not all sunshine and roses here. In fact, it's really, really frozen outside. I'm looking I'm very jealous of people who can actually go out and table right now. I don't even know if I can walk in my street. But partisan power players, people do not like to give up their power, and so they gathered signatures to put the repeal back on the ballot in 2026. Today, we filed a lawsuit to challenge their biased ballot language, and we will continue to do everything we can to fight to keep voters in power. So here's some good news. Talked to thousands of Alaskans all over the state. And, I think that it's the same in every state. Our biggest challenge is pushing back against all that misinformation people are spreading about our system, especially ranked choice voting. But the good news is, when I have a few minutes to talk to voters about our system and tell them what it really is and what ranked choice voting actually does, most of them support keeping it in place. And I love seeing Kaz in Arizona's orange shirts. That's kind of what Alaska really wants to be doing this year. So we're going to focus on conversations. Neighbors talking to neighbors about the progress we made, neighbors pushing back on that misinformation, and making sure that voters know about the freedom and the power they have in this system and what will be taken away if it gets repealed in 2026. So what are our biggest assets? Just like they have in Arizona and all around the country, our biggest assets are the true believers in our system. That's the exciting part, right? We've seen a lot of Alaskans use it. We've seen the benefits. We've seen veto overrides, bipartisan, I guess multi-partisan, because we have more independents now, veto overrides against things that really are not good for our communities because people were standing on these lines of policy instead of doing what was right for their communities. And we kind of unleashed our legislators, right, to be able to actually just govern for what their communities want and not have to worry about how it's going to turn out for them in November, because as long as they're pleasing the people and getting that broad support, they're going to be reelected, right? So we're going to be supporting our supporters. We're basically going to be putting arrows in their quivers and arming them to have the thousands of conversations we need to have to grow that support and put an end to these repeated repeal attempts. So the good news is, like, I've heard from people, even kind of in secret, this always happens to me, that said, hey, I was like a sign carrying yes on repeal person last year, and me and my whole family saw this result, and now we want to be on your team. So hopefully getting them to come out of the shadows in the next couple of months, but at least I know that they're there and they're going to vote our way, right, when it comes in November. So here's some other good news is many of our voters, we did the math, 21% of Alaskan voters that are registered have now only participated under open primaries and ranked choice voting. So we know that as time goes on, we're going to see more support. We see those younger voters supporting our system. We see more educated in the sense that they're, know more about higher information voters also supporting our system. And so what we need is just to have this peer-to-peer conversation. I'm saying my goal audience right now are people who say, well, I don't like ranked choice voting, but I don't know why. And so I say, hey, well, if you don't like it, I want you to not like it for the right reasons. Let me tell you what it actually does. And I'll tell you, I get a lot more converts that way. So I'm going to ask of you what I've asked of all of my supporters. You need to talk to 5 people. Well, those of you in the States working, keep doing what you're doing. Like the more proof we see of ranked choice voting taking hold in other places, that's really what we need to see to help support our efforts here in Alaska. But what I'm asking my supporters to do is talk to 5 people. You can talk to 2 people who agree with you and encourage them to talk to 5 more people. You can talk to 2 people who are on the fence, are lower information, and they need to know either why they need to go out to vote or why reform is so important. And then you need to talk to 1 person who disagrees with you, because we need to model that kind of collaborative civil discourse that we want to see in our legislators. And if we have it up there, and I don't know if we do, please click the link and lend your name to our cause. We have about 800 names on our website right now, and I want to get it up. I want to get it that you have to scroll so much and your name is so small that you can't even find your name. So I think that we sent a link, if the link's there. If not, follow us, alaskansforbetterelections.com, and hopefully we'll keep the good news coming.
Truly amazing update. Thank you so much, Julie, for all of your great work there, and excited to have you as a part of the Rank the Vote network. And stay warm to you as well. Next up, we're going to queue up a video featuring our folks in New Jersey, Iowa, and Connecticut, who are some great states that we've got there, and exciting updates from our partners.
The momentum for ranked choice voting only continues to grow here in New Jersey. We're currently at 9 municipalities across the state who've said that they want to use ranked choice voting. And notable additions to that list in 2025 include our first municipality in South Jersey and our first school board. We're hoping to continue this momentum with educational events across the state. We had an educational event in North, South, and Central Jersey this month, where we're ranking the best dessert in each part of the state, and we're going to have a big online poll to decide the best dessert in the state. We're really looking forward to people joining us there. We're going to have educational events across the state this year in every single county, and we're going to continue the momentum of adding more municipalities to our list, our growing list of places that want to use ranked choice voting for their local elections.
Hi, it's Amy with Better Ballot Iowa. Last January, Iowa lawmakers gave us an unexpected gift, a bill to block ranked choice voting. Thousands of Iowans leaned in, sending more than 6,000 emails and 148 public comments. The bill passed anyway, but Iowans realized this wasn't about one bill. It was about fixing how we vote. So we introduced Voting 2.0, simple changes to replace frustration and feeling ignored with better politics and a better future for all Iowans. And the movement grew. We gained new leadership, secured our first major grant, and surpassed 7,000 supporters. In 2026, we're carrying that momentum forward, hosting our first Advocacy Day at the Capitol. Because Iowans know politics can be positive, constructive, and productive.
Hi everyone, I'm Brendan Finley with Connecticut Voters First. 2025 was a really important year for ranked choice voting in Connecticut. We made more progress than ever before, starting with a packed public hearing that brought in hundreds of written testimonies and dozens of people showing up in person to speak out in support of RCV. From there, our bill moved overwhelmingly out of 2 legislative committees, which sent a clear signal that this reform is gaining real traction here in Connecticut. What's been especially encouraging is how broad the support has become. We're seeing growing interest from legislative leadership, strong engagement from municipalities, and increasing enthusiasm from voters who want elections that are more fair, more representative, and less divisive. Looking ahead to 2026, we're not slowing down. Our focus is on passing legislation that gives political parties the option to use ranked choice voting in primaries, conventions, and caucuses, and gives municipalities the option to adopt RCV for local elections. We're expanding our municipal outreach, strengthening our coalition, and working closely with legislative champions to get this across the finish line. Momentum is clearly on our side, and we truly believe 2026 can be the year Connecticut adopts ranked choice voting. Thanks for all the work you're doing, and happy RCV Day.
All right. Great updates from our folks, and one more featured video here before we have our final speaker.
Martin-Harrisburg is getting closer to making RCV a reality in Pennsylvania. Last year, we worked with Representative Chris Rabb to introduce House Bill 123 because ranked choice voting is as easy as 123. Our bill is a local options bill, which is something that we think will work well in the diverse Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. In April, we testified in front of the House State Government Committee. We debated a professional anti-RCV debater, and I don't think he did very well. He flew in from Oklahoma, and I don't think he convinced many members of the committee of his point of view. We spent hours and hours lobbying, meeting with more than half of the state legislators in Harrisburg, as well as a lot of local lawmakers across the Commonwealth. A local options bill requires municipalities to opt in to using RCV, so we're working on both the state and local bills in tandem. We'll continue to work with state legislators and local municipalities to inform them about RCV and eventually enact it.
Hey, this is Quinn Houston from Vermont. I'm the Democracy Associate here at HEPIRG. During the 2025 legislative session, we wanted to pass ranked choice voting for the 2028 presidential primaries in Bill H474. However, House legislators turned the RCV requirement into a study on how the process would work. And in the Senate, legislators pushed the study date out, so the earliest implementation wouldn't be until 2032. We wanted to still see the bill pass, but time ran out before the two chambers could agree on language. And we think it should come up again in 2026. Meanwhile, we're working here in Vermont on a Voting Rights Act, a corporate reset to subvert Citizens United, a disclosure of synthetic media, deepfakes, and election advertisements, and more comprehensive lobbying advertisement laws.
All right. And if you just heard from one of your states, then keep your eyes peeled because we're going to share the events that they have so you can see them here. We heard from Nicole about the large number of events that they have coming up. So please go to Better Ballot South Carolina's website and sign up for an event if you are in that state. In New Jersey, they have an event today and next week of Rank the Desserts. So please get connected with our folks in Voter Choice New Jersey. Connecticut Voters First is focused on building grassroots power and their continued lobbying efforts. Here are some of the many things going on at Unite New York. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to get engaged with their efforts very soon here. Similarly, in Maine, also preparing for an advocacy day, that's Democracy Maine, as well as their youth advocacy efforts that they've got in that state. Vermont, no immediate events, but working on building grassroots powers. You just heard from Quinn, a great organization to get connected with. Iowa is having their strategic planning meeting today, getting ready for advocacy days, as we heard, and really preparing for a busy couple of months to kick off the year here. Ohio, there's that podcast that Michelle mentioned, as well as RCV Day and all hands meetings coming up. So this is how you get involved. You should be seeing chats show up with links to register for these events. So keep an eye out so you can find your state. Rank My Vote Florida could definitely be in use of some more volunteers as they work to build grassroots power, a great state to get connected with if you're there. So many events in Michigan. They're coming off of this really tremendous effort this past year. You're going to keep having this many events, so there's a lot of opportunities to get involved if you're not already, as we are excited to see what Michigan has coming up. Alaskans for Better Elections, working on continuing to educate voters. We heard that amazing update from Julie about all of the good work that's happening. Some of the upcoming events in across the state of Pennsylvania, really in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Harrisburg. A lot going on. Events tomorrow or 2 days from now and in February of ranking demonstrations of Rank the Stuff from Ocean State Ranked Choice Voting. And Fair Vote, Illinois, 3 Chicago area happy hours, one of those being in the suburb of Oak Park, where it was passed recently for ranked choice voting. So a lot of good enthusiasm in that area, as well as a way to get involved as a volunteer orientation coming up. Voter Choice Arizona, we heard from Kaz. I think we're all now jealous that we don't have bandanas for our pets. So excited about the good work that they've got going on there. And a good example of you can always make this work fun. If you're not having fun doing this work, email me because we got to talk because we got to make this fun for you because everyone else is having a good time doing this. Cal RCV Coalition, who we're about to hear from, has their Orange County virtual meetup, as well as a weekly strategy call for the good work that they're doing in LA, which Marcella is going to tell us about right now. So thank you, everyone. And we will now take it to Marcella is the executive director of the Cal RCV Coalition. My friend in San Diego, it is good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And please share with us about all the good work that you're doing. Yeah, can we get her unmuted, please?
Okay, can you hear me now? Awesome. I was like, I can't unmute myself. Good evening, everyone. It's great to see so many familiar faces and new faces. I am so happy that we are all on this call, sharing the great work that we're doing across the country. I have to say, listening to everyone today reinforces how much stronger this movement is when we're learning from one another and moving together. I'm feeling really energized with this year ahead and all the work that we did last year and the wins that we're building towards, both big and small, because this is a collective effort. And I think as we continue building on all the work that we're doing, we're going to see more wins in the future. I think all of our hard work is finally coming to this point, which is why I'm so excited to share about Los Angeles. About 6 months ago, we decided to embark on this journey with the LA Charter Reform Commission, and we thought it would probably be a long shot, but here we are now, actually almost 7 months at this point. With the LA Charter Reform Commission, they studied ranked choice voting and PRCV through their government structure committee. They had committees created after the commission started, and they referred it to the full commission, which will be probably hearing both PRCV and RCV sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, I talk about both because they're both still on the table. We don't know which way it's going to go just yet. We're obviously advocating for PRCV because it's the gold star method for us here at Cal RCV. But we will be happy with whatever reform LA chooses to pursue because, as you all know, LA has had their slew of issues and scandals over the last few years. Also on the table is council expansion, which one of our partners, Fair Rep LA, is working on. So there will be a mixture of council expansion and some sort of electoral reform, ranked choice voting that is happening. We've been working with the Charter Reform Commissioners that come from different backgrounds. It's been quite extensive getting everyone to hop on board. There are some folks on the commission that are not fully supportive or not as excited, but we do have the votes to get it through as of right now. We are also working with the city council members right now to get them on board. And then ultimately, we do have to get the mayor on board because some of those commissioners do answer to the mayor. And so, of course, everything is political at the end of the day because we're going through this legislative route. But we've had amazing momentum. Really, we were told that the city council members were not going to take our calls, that no one was going to show up for this, that the commissioners didn't even know about this reform and they weren't even going to consider it. And now we're at this point where everyone's talking about it. All of City Hall in LA is talking about it. And as you all know, City Hall is huge in LA. They have a lot of power, the mayor and the city council members. So we're just excited about the opportunity that we're going to be having. Once this is passed through the full commission, it is referred to the city council in April. Then the city council has to vote to refer this to the ballot this November. So we would be running a campaign at some point after all of this is done. So we're going to be busy here at Cal RCV. We are just so thankful and grateful for our statewide partners like Eileen and Rank the Vote, Fair Vote, for all the work in getting us connected with validators across the country that have, basically sold some of these commissioners with their testimonies, whether it was one-on-one calls, whether it was written public comment, whether it was testimonies during the Charter Reform Commission meetings, and then of course our volunteers that are local in Los Angeles that were waiting for something to happen in Los Angeles, and for everyone around the state in California that has been helping us with phone banking or showing up again virtually to all of these meetings. So we're excited for the work that is to come. Many of you on here probably have heard from me reaching out to you asking for written public comment or some sort of testimony, and I want to thank you for doing that. And if you're interested in participating at some point in this process while we're getting this work done, please feel free to reach out to me. If you have folks or volunteers on the ground that want to participate and maybe are not necessarily activated with something right now, please send them my way. I have several meetings coming up over the next few months where we'll need some help. But I'm just excited for a city in Southern California to be considering ranked choice voting in a city that is as big as Los Angeles. I don't want to leave out San Diego, which is my hometown where I live right now. Andrea St. Julian, our partner at the Justice Workshop, is working on a ballot initiative for November 2028 on proportional ranked choice voting. I personally have been helping her with that as well, and some of the connections I have here in San Diego, and that's going well. She's collecting ballot signatures right now. So we're just excited that Southern California is on the map now and that people are starting to talk about it. One of our goals as an organization is to get ranked choice voting on a statewide level, but we believe that the pathway to get there is by getting as many cities as possible within the state to use ranked choice voting so that they are familiar with it once this comes to a statewide ballot initiative. And I think starting with two of the biggest cities in Southern California is a great start. So we're just really grateful for the opportunities that have presented and that have come our way. And I know that I'm preaching to the choir when I say it. Sometimes these opportunities come all of a sudden. You're not really looking for them. And so I feel like LA is one of those babies. And, hypothetically speaking, if nothing does happen in LA and the commission decides to vote it down or city council or something happens, we are laying the groundwork for a ballot initiative. And so we're not going to give up. We're going to continue with a ballot initiative on the ground in LA. We've been collecting ballot signatures, not for an actual ballot initiative, but like a petition that we're circulating to get volunteers and folks on board that are supportive of this. There was also a poll that was done about 2 years ago in LA that shows that there's 67% support for ranked choice voting in the city of LA. So there's momentum amongst other reforms that voters are asking for in LA because, again, city council is very corrupt in that city particularly. So politics is all about timing. I think the timing is right now, and people are excited about the potential of getting power or restructuring LA for once and for all. So I'm just grateful to be in this room with all of you, to hear from you. I'm going to definitely be connecting with some of you after this because I was hearing some great ideas, and I want to build off of that on the work that we're doing here. And if you're interested in hearing how we're handling some of the commissioners. I've had some commissioners that are from Latino backgrounds that want Latino validators and only want to talk to Latinos. I've had other commissioners that are Black and only want to hear from folks in Oakland or particular areas in New York City. And so I've been trying to put the pieces together and make it all happen. And so far, we've been, like I said, fortunate with the progress that we've been making. So excited for the work that is to come. I also, before I hop off, I don't want to forget Sacramento. So our partners in Sacramento for Better Ballot Sacramento are doing a fantastic job running the campaign in Sacramento. They're looking at a legislative route for this year with the county and also the city council. If that doesn't end up working out for them, they're going to consider running a ballot initiative as well. They also just received funding to hire a field director, which will be a person that's there part-time, because right now the two folks that are running it, Josh and Paula Lee, are volunteers. So as you all know, you're limited in capacity sometimes when you are a volunteer. But we're excited for all the work that is to come, and just looking forward to other cities that might be popping up and the momentum that we build at the end of this year.
Amazing update. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, Marcella. It's so great to hear about what's going on. There's so much opportunity in California. So as we close this out, so grateful to all of you for the work that you do year round for this movement to advance ranked choice voting and proportional representation. As you heard today, people are working on it in the largest cities in the country down to suburban cities and some of the smallest places and townships across the country, because ranked choice voting is about voters. It's not about helping one political party or another or some ideology. Nope, it's about putting power back where it belongs, in the hands of the people, and having better representation. So we just need to have more choice in our elections. So grateful to all of you for the work that you're doing, especially to our volunteers. We couldn't do this work without you. So I hope that you will leave here energized, excited, maybe go to an RCV Day event this weekend, and if not, tell someone in your community, in your life about it, and get connected to your state group if you're not already. So thank you all so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day, and happy RCV Day, and cheers to this movement, and thank you all for being a part of it.